All of PCH is on fire right now. It is like driving through hell itself down here.
And there goes the wall.
Hard to describe. Apocalyptic Armageddon. I mean, what we have seen play out in Los Angeles County over the past couple of days. Welcome inside Weather Command. I'm Stephen Morgan with a special co-host from America Reports.
Good to be here with you, Stephen, and your team. I'm Sandra Smith. Glad to be part of your coverage. And we have teams all over Southern California that are covering these wildfires, as so many are still in harm's way.
Including meteorologist Marissa Torres joining us live in Pacific Palisades. Marissa, it's hard to imagine that what was behind you was once paradise.
Iconic views, and actually just by coincidence, Stephen and Sandra, I ended up in this neighborhood I've been in. I was here just a couple of years ago. The Bel Air, I wrote it down, the Bel Air Bay Club. One of my best friends got married there not too long ago, and it's located just over the hillside over here. I have to check on the status of it, but this is a beautiful neighborhood. Behind the camera is the PCH, the iconic PCH, the Pacific Ocean. I can hear it, but I can't see it. We are shrouded in smoke, a few signs of life every now and then when a bird comes by. But that maybe bit of hope, you could say, amidst all of this devastation. It is very raw, it is very real, and it is incredibly heartbreaking. And we're going to continue to scan around the neighborhood and really bring you some of these views to truly tell this story, you guys.
Thrilled to see you. Marissa, we'll be checking back with you in a minute. I appreciate you joining us this morning, Sandra.
Amazing. All of this so personal to so many of our reporters who are on the ground there, including Marissa. Here's the very latest on the information that we have for you at this hour. We know at least 5 people are dead, and it's feared that that number could rise. More than 100,000 people have been forced to evacuate as these fires consume homes and businesses. Firefighters are right now trying to battle 5 wildfires. Winds have calmed just a bit this morning, but they are expected to ramp back up and be gusty later on this afternoon, even on into Friday. More than 300,000 utility customers are now without power, and that number is as high as 1.2 million. That was the latest as of Wednesday.
And when we talk about the fires, among the most destructive has been the Palisades fire. It scorched the seaside between Malibu and Santa Monica. Folks who live there, the Pacific Coast Highway, the PCH, even seeing the flames cross over and burning beachfront properties. Containment this morning, it still remains at 0%. And we know with the Palisades fire alone, at least 1,000 structures have burned to the ground, making it the most destructive ever in Los Angeles County.
All right, let's get right back out to Marissa Torres. She's in Pacific Palisades. Marissa, obviously we're tracking everything that's on the ground. And something you have to think about is while we're watching the weather, we are watching the ability for those who are trying to fight these flames, the challenges that they face. The city is also dealing with increased traffic for those who are now deciding to evacuate. There's gridlock, reports of gridlock, evacuations. They're trying to get additional support into the area. We heard that from the mayor earlier this morning. Another update is expected top of the next hour. So what are you seeing and hearing there right now? Just an apocalyptic scene. It stuck with me, Marissa, when you said the only sign of life that you've seen there in the past couple hours is a couple birds in the air.
Yeah, and hearing them, I don't know what it does. It's I'm gonna throw my notebook down real quick. It breaks your heart. I've covered a lot of fires, Sandra and Stephen, and to see this scope of devastation, there's nothing like it. And it's not lost. I mean, this is somebody's home. And in instances like this, we are often the only eyes in here, the only people allowed in through this community are going to be the news crews and emergency vehicles. This is a garage that we came upon, a part of a home, not a house, a home that somebody lived in. You can see the brick that just shattered, the washer dryer, I think, in the distance. And then somewhere behind this garage is the home itself. And actually, Chris, here, I'm going to bring you guys over here. So as you kind of walk around to everything that's broken, you can see the entrance. How beautiful is that? Maybe cast iron. It says doorbell. It's part of the entrance to the main home. Without intruding too much on privacy and these people's belongings, I just want to give you an idea of how ghostly this is. At one point, actually, my photographer, or my producer here, had to, watch out behind you, Chris, had to step away and left me here in the darkness, no lights, nothing. The only light was my flashlight and the little spot fires that are burning around here. So Chris is backing up really carefully. You can see we have another neighboring home also destroyed. Chris, you can show them just again The heat of this fire was so hot. It had everything it needed to work with, to rage, out of control. All the winds eventually taking this fire towards the PCH, the Pacific Coast Highway. So you have the Pacific Ocean out over here. Look at how thick this smoke is. The sun is now up over Southern California. You can barely make out. Here we go. There's the coastline. Can you see it, Chris, too? So you can see the ocean. You can see the beach. You can see the properties. You can see some of the emergency response driving along the PCH. The Pacific Coast Highway, it is shut down still between Santa Monica and Malibu. Where I am in Pacific Palisades, we're kind of nestled within that zone. For markers, Bel Air Bay Club. My friend reminded me, my girlfriend who lives here in LA area, she got married there a few years ago, and that's just beyond yonder. We're gonna go check on that. Actually, that's it right there, Chris. This is, I believe, the Bel Air Bay Club. So you see that grassy area? That's where they take a lot of wedding photos. You stand there. It looks untouched, right? It looks okay from this perspective. Behind, all right, are we able to show one more thing, Chris? Sorry, you look down the hill from where I am and there's another home. And this was the one I said earlier that it looks like somebody peeled off the roof of a home and you are looking at the shell. And again, a family lived here, somebody lived here, somebody maybe raised children here, somebody maybe grew up here. No matter what it is, you have lives destroyed, people that have nowhere to go. We also know within this community we had 3 LAUSD schools that were destroyed. Marquez Elementary is one of them. That one is about a half a mile to the north of where I am. We'll check that out later, but that is now, I feel like a school is a sanctuary a bit for so many students. And with that gone, and more than likely these kids also dealing now with a home that is gone, that's really heavy. And it's just tough. The smoke is one of the reasons all LA schools are closed for the day. And the winds are still calm. I know you guys were talking about the winds earlier, and I'll bring you back into the conversation, but, oh wait, Chris, look at the sun. Do you see it? Stephen and Sandra, can you guys see the sun coming up right now?
We
Yeah,
do.
it looks like the sunrise. It's wild because the smoke is so dense. If we wouldn't have had these fires, it would have been a clear sky morning, Marissa. From your vantage point, incredible to see, especially the Pacific residents. Is there still restricted access where you're at? Have residents been able to come up yet?
So we have not seen any residents. We had special permission to come in. You can see police heading down the PCH. It is still completely blocked off. So between Santa Monica and Malibu, where the fire spread, eventually trying to get into the Pacific, is where everything remains closed. I did also see just not police, but that's been another problem, but not just here at the Palisades fire. At all of the fires, they're monitoring for looters, which they've already had, which is that very disgusting act of people coming into these communities, sneaking in and trying to steal from these victims of this fire. So that's really what they're trying to stay on top on. I'll be curious to see, and I haven't heard anything of when they'll actually allow residents in. Right now with the spot fires, my guess is they want to wait a little bit longer just because of the risk and safety. But we'll check in with that one, Stephen.
Yeah, well, the sun's coming up as we can see, but an air quality alert remains in effect through at least this evening, probably going to be extending into Friday. Plus, we need to watch for those winds that are going to be gusting. Marissa Torres arriving there in Los Angeles in Pacific Palisades. Marissa, thank you.